What is good? What is good? What is Gucci? Courtney Adji, and I'm back again, this time to discuss D Block Europe's debut album, The Blueprint, Us versus Them. The waviest duo in the UK, without a question of a doubt. Okay. So this project follows up on a trio of mixtapes that they've delivered beforehand. So we had Home Alone, we had Street Trauma, and my personal favorite, PTSD. Uh, First and foremost, guys, the work rate of these two is ridiculous. Like, I've never seen artists put out so much music at such a rapid pace over the space of a year. These guys have easily done over 100 tracks with the Insomnia collaborative project with Skepta, Chip, and Young Ads. That one has grown on me. At first, I was like, not feeling it, and then I just found myself going back, and I'm still going back to it now. So, yeah, I'm putting that up there. You know, the features, everything is just, it's a ridiculous work rate. Sorry. So yeah, I've been impressed by the work rate first and foremost. So coming into this project, guys, the one downside that I have with DBE, the one gripe I have, is the quality control. Like, I was kind of hoping that this album would be half its size. It's coming in at 29 tracks, so that's a bit on the heavy side, to be honest. And on average, I found that the projects are coming in at about the 20 track mark. And I understand, yes, it's the streaming era. Everyone wants to get their streams up. Everyone wants to do numbers, etc., etc. But when I look at the likes of Future or some of the others, of course, they release these high volume albums, but they also have the shorter, more condensed projects, which are the ones which generally people gravitate more towards. Here I've just seen like a lot of tracks coming out, like, and a lot of fillers in the mix of good ones. That's my main gripe. So what I expect to see here, guys, is a more well-rounded project. That's my expectancy coming into this album. And not so much throwaway stuff, but yeah, because PTSD for me was the closest that they've come to an album level body of work. This was good for the flows, the melodies, the rapping, the content, topic, everything was kind of in the same pocket. It wasn't just random ideas, mood board, let's say. So yeah, let's get into my thoughts. So in terms of the sound, guys, to be honest, the production was pretty much the same throughout the whole body of work, which is disappointing. It's the moody guitar string loops that you get on like every single trap project nowadays. And that's consistent on like every single track. But saying that, the two standouts for me where this is used of that style is Shame on Me and Ferrari Horses featuring Ray. Like, those two go in, especially the Ray one. I haven't really heard her in this pocket before, so it was interesting to hear her talking a bit ratchet, which is a bit different. I think it would have been interesting for them to step out of the box when they had the big name feature Stefflon Don with Michelin Star. I feel like they could have made something a bit more bouncy, maybe something a bit like We Won or UFO, opposed to what we got, which is like a Diamonds Dancing generic tune, which I don't think will go anywhere, to be honest. I can't see it going anywhere, but maybe I'm wrong. The question that everyone wants to know, what's next for DBE after making the blueprint? What's next? So if you paid attention to the project closely, guys, you would notice that there's a few solo tracks dotted across the album. And this to me makes it clear that they've studied the likes of Migos in terms of really like packaging up group projects, but then dotting little individual features across the project to say, okay, something individual is on the card, something is coming. So I could very much hear Young Adz stepping out with Bando Diaries project, as I mentioned before in one of my throwaway thoughts videos. And I'd like to hear more in the rapping bag. And I feel like his artistry in rapping is overlooked by a lot of people because he does a lot of the melodic, sing-songy stuff. People don't feel like he's a real rapper, but he can really rap. So that's where I can see that kind of going there. Apart from that, guys, they've 100% worked out the pattern. So the question more is, how many times can they continue to hit the same bullseye before the darts are filled up on the board, if you see what I mean? Like, how many times can they keep delivering the same food to you before you get sick of it? Like, maybe the next thing is international collabs. I could see that happening a bit more. Or maybe they'll start writing for other guys. But let's see, I'm interested. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of my thoughts there. So let's get on to the conclusion. As you can probably gauge, I wasn't really blown away by this project based on the first listen. It doesn't exceed PTSD for me. And even though Insomnia is much smaller, it was much more diverse and much more impactful in my eyes. So yeah, there isn't much things which are new. It's Percocets, high-end fashion, trapping, infused with auto-tune, and there's not much diversification on the production. It's kind of the same moody guitar strings. As this is the blueprint, my expectation coming into this was that they would do something like what Future did with DS2, taking some of their highlights, so like Creep, Darling, Nookie, Home Pussy, what else have you got on the first one? What is it? Kettle Pouring. If they would have consolidated, let's say took 10 of those tracks and then put 10 new ones in the mix of those, that would have been the blueprint. Because that would have said, look, you missed this one, you missed this one, you missed this one. Now we're going to put all of that together with some new stuff and show you guys that we are the blueprint. But it went number 2, so what can I say? In terms of the rating, guys, I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. My top 3 tracks are Destiny, Big B, which is a Young Adz solo track, and Proud, which again is a Young Adz solo track. So you can see what kind of songs were influencing me, what kind of songs were, getting my taste whilst listening. Anyway, inspire, enrich, yo.